We are back breaking down another one of your Dynasty football teams.
As always. Come on.
If you want your team to be considered, join our Discord with the link in the description. And there's a text channel in our Discord server that says Dynasty Team Grades. Can't promise you that we're going to be able to grade your team. I think there's well over 200, 300, 400 teams in that text channel. So we only have so much time. We only got one video a week, so we can't promise, but put it in there. And if we really feel like we can help, then we'll make a video about your team. So shout out to Greg. All right. We're going to look at Greg's team today. 14 team tight end premium super flex league. I have some thoughts on this team, and he sent us a lot of trades that he made. Now, you have to be aware of if you submit your team for this video, we might not always like the moves that you've made. But we're always going to offer advice and thoughts and things that we think that we might try if we were in your position. I'll be honest, Greg, if you're watching this was one of the harder teams to really break down and give advice to.
Agreed.
Because I feel like we have kind of put ourselves in a really tough position right now with the moves that we currently have made. So why don't we look firstly at some trades that Greg has made to get to the team where he is now, and then we'll show the team. So first trade, Greg received a 23-second and the 304 for Donovan Peoples-Jones and the 310, which is incredible move. Yep. There's no way you should have gotten that value for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Just no way. Second trade, I'm not a huge fan of this one when we look at the team overall, but you got Saquon, the 207, and the third. You sent A.J. Dillon, a Herbert, in the 110. We're going to talk about this in a second. I don't know how you stand on this one, but it feels slightly like an overpay for Saquon in my eyes. And also, I think this really hurts our flex positions with our starting team. Do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I mean, as much as I love Saquon, I think to get the depth there with having A.J. Dillon and the 110.
And even Herbert, Herbert could, I know you're big on Monty, but he could, if Monty leaves, he could have a bigger role.
Yeah, he could have a bigger role. I think it's also hard because we saw what he got for Saquon. I guess we can continue, and then maybe we should do that trade. So the next trade, he traded away Saquon.
Yeah. So then he trades away Saquon. Yeah.
Yeah. He trades away Saquon and a 23-second. Two 23 seconds. He gets Najee Harris and a 24 third. And I think that is where it kind of downfalls, because I do like the first trade. I didn't mind the Saquon trade, but if he kept Saquon and had those 22 seconds, that would have gave him depth on his team still.
Or at least given him flexibility to make moves.
Exactly. And that could have been a Tolbert, Waddle, Alec Pierce, whatever the case may be in that 2022 second.
Those are 2023 seconds.
Well,
but still,
what is 2022? I could be wrong, though.
No, it's 2023.
2022 round 207. So he must have done
We're talking about the Najee Harris and Saquon Barkley trade.
Well, yeah, I was going back with the Saquon trade. But I hear you. I see you. I see where you're at.
Yeah, okay.
But he did send that away.
He sent the 23 seconds. So anyway, so, I just think that could have given him a lot more flexibility. And the last trade I'm going to show you is where he gets Lamar Jackson. He sends Justin Fields a 23 first and a third. And honestly, I don't mind this move if it's the right time. This is a all-in move. We are pushing the chips into the table. We feel like we're ready to go. This is the piece to push us over the top. And we'll talk about this in a second when we look at the team. I'm just not sure we were ready yet for this move. I feel like maybe we rushed the process. And, again, our goal with these videos are always to be as honest as possible, to offer our most honest thoughts. But why don't we go ahead and look at the team as a whole now?
Yeah.
And I think what stood out to me when I looked at his team is a couple things. Number one, we don't have much draft capital. You don't have any draft capital in 2023. So we kind of have strapped ourselves with trade options. Secondly, is I don't love the flex spots. I mean, if we do these moves where we go get Najee, we go get Lamar, I want the rest of my team to really be in a position where I feel like, all right, I'm good. Let's go win. Right. Kirk, I like. Lockett, and Tony, I I don't know what am I going to get with them on a weekly basis. I don't know if they're going to be enough. And then we'll go position by position, but again, the depth on this team is struggling for me.
And I think that's my biggest downfall for this team is the depth. But yeah, let's break it down.
And we have to keep in mind it is 14 teams, right?
Yeah, and that's the problem as well.
Teams are going to look worse than 12 teams. That's just the case. So, but anyway, let's look at the quarterback room first off, Badake.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kyler and Lamar, those are your guys. I think that's perfect what you have here.
It's incredible. Yeah.
I guess Geno is good. I think he could be the starter moving forward. People are believing Geno is going to be the starter for Seattle. I think it will be on and off. But I think we can all agree the quarterback room is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying, man, let's hope that Geno becomes the guy and starts, because
this could be trade bait. This could be something for you.
Could be trade bait, but also it could just you could keep him for injuries or bye weeks.
Exactly.
I don't know, because it's a 14-team league. I was looking at Colt McCoy, and I'm just asking myself, I feel like I'm wasting a roster spot with Colt McCoy.
Agreed.
But in a 14-team league, what really is going to be on the waivers? In this format as well, they have so many bench spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 bench spots. So I originally was going to say probably drop Colt McCoy, but I don't think anything we have 11 bench spots in most of our leagues and the waivers are dead.
And you can see a pattern here where you'd like to get your handcuffs for people.
Sure.
You have the handcuffs for Kyler. You have the handcuff for Lamar. You have the handcuff for Najee. I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes you just got to, drop Tyrod. Do something. Let's get some more running backs, wide receivers. What does your waiver wire look like? I would love for you to comment when you watch this down and let us know, because maybe there are some players and people you can pick up.
Yeah, I feel like the waivers are going to be so bare.
Yeah,
and maybe even those fringe guys in a 14-team and 16 bench spots, it's going to be rough, isn't it?
It is going to be rough.
So I originally was going to say drop Colt McCoy, but I mean, who the hell can you add in this format? And also, by the way, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taxis as well. So, I mean, the waiver wire is probably disgustingly bad. Practice squad players.
Probably, yeah.
So maybe it's best to hold on to those guys. When I look at the running backs, again, let's address the trade that we saw earlier. The original trade where you sent A.J. Dillon away. Would this team look better if it had A.J. Dillon, Herbert? Because if Herbert's on your bench, he's automatically your best running back on your bench. Automatically, straight off the bat. And then the 110. What could the 110 have been in this year's rookie class? Could that have been Sky Moore? Could it have been James Cook? I don't want to take James Cook there. Could it have been
there's so many people that could have fell.
Jahan Dotson, maybe?
Yeah. Christian Watson. There's so many people that you could have gotten there at the 110. And once again, helps you with your depth on your team, because there wasn't much.
Yeah.
Even if you
outside of Najee and Monty, you can't start anyone.
Even if you did trade that away and kept Saquon in the 207 in the 23 rookie class, I think that would have helped you as well. Once again, could have been Damian, Alec Pierce, Wandell, whoever is there, Jalen Tolbert.
He sent away 23 seconds though, not 2022.
No, but
I keep trying to say that.
No, but
he sent away 23 seconds.
Oh, so does he have the 202, the 207? He must.
The 207 was in the original deal, though.
I wonder who he drafted there, because.
Well, I'm more talking about the Najee Harris deal where he sends away Saquon in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and I feel like if you look at this team, those 2 seconds, if you take out Najee and you put Saquon there, those 2 second-round picks, you can go get really good flex options with those seconds. You can go get maybe an Amari Cooper right now who's at a low. You can go get, easily a bunch more depth, running backs, maybe Zeke's there, and you can push all in. A Sanders maybe for depth. So you have more flexibility there. And, I just think we put ourselves maybe in a tough spot. I have an idea. Okay.
All right. Let's hear it.
I don't even know if I like this idea, but we have pretty much pushed ourselves into a corner where we have to try and win now. really there's absolutely no benefit for us not to win right now. We have none of our picks in 2023. So can you send the 2024 second? And like, if you can do the 2024 second for any of these guys straight up, do it in a heartbeat. But I think you have to add David Bell. Okay. So let's say a 2024 second, David Bell. Can you go get an Antonio Gibson? Can you go get an Elijah Mitchell? Can you go get a Josh Jacobs? Yes, you lose the second, but you've already put yourself in a really tough position. And I personally don't think that this running back room is enough to go on a run right now. So if I can get a Mitchell, I know you're not high on Gibson, but if I can get a Mitchell, a Jacobs, a Gibson, I would feel much more comfortable with this room. Again, I still don't feel comfortable with my flex spots at all, but it would give me more flexibility with my flex and my running backs.
Right. Okay. So the thought process, there's multiple thought processes that I had, which you can win now and just see what you can do. So the way I'm thinking about it is trying to sell, especially in the time like this, because right now, hypothetically, Chris Godwin might not be ready to play. But if somebody that's out there that wants a Chris Godwin, and you can get a 23 first and a low end player, let's say a rookie, why not try and do that? Or
well, he has no benefit to tanking this year.
No, for
no
sure.
benefit to selling
I'm not even saying to tank. I'm saying to try and Chris Godwin doesn't play. Who is he starting? I mean, Sterling is not even going to.
Well, I have some ideas later to
Sterling
add on to it. But
I think that was my thought process. It's like, okay, if we are going to win, let's move Chris Godwin, maybe pivot. What if that's a Cortland? Even if it's older.
Sure.
What if that's somebody else that can really help your team now, and you can get some sort of draft capital and help your team to win?
If you get like a vet in a second, I'm open to that.
Like that would be the goal here, because I don't want to move Chris Godwin, but
doesn't play. Have to.
Yeah, it feels like you kind of have to. Or is the other route, which I know is probably not ideal, and I know you probably won't think it's ideal. Why not try and lateral move or pivot from quarterback, even though you already have both two top quarterbacks? Trying to move Kyler or Lamar. I would say keep Lamar, move Kyler. You know me, I love Kyler.
I would say keep Kyler.
Move him and then pivot. What if you can tear back down? What if that is? It's kind of hard because you went from
what if
Justin
it's a Derek
Fields.
Carr? So what if you can get Derek Carr?
I'm thinking
Derek really
Carr,
good flex option.
Kirk Cousins, these guys. What if you even go to Aaron Rodgers? You're trying to win now. Let's get these guys. Let's get them. What if it's a Tom Brady? Get some draft capital. Something like that. Because if you are win now, maybe that's the best option. But at the same time,
he really takes care of two of the most important positions in a 14-team league.
It's tough.
So it's really hard. I think if you do that move, you need to get absolutely incredible value. But let's talk about the wide receivers. Godwin's talked about coming back early. Let's see if it happens. But again, I'm going to offer some options because this isn't enough, man. This isn't enough to go win a championship. Especially because you can start 5 wide receivers at a time. David Bell, you have to hope that he really hits, but here's some other options. How about we send Tyler Lockett, in a 24 second for Allen Robinson? That might be an overpay in some people's eyes, but I think it's worth it because of what I see Allen Robinson doing this year. I think he's kind of locked in for me as a top 15 to 17 wide receiver this year. I don't know what I'm getting with Tyler Lockett. What does Tyler Lockett plus Drew Lock equal? Not something that I want to start.
Right.
Can you send maybe a 20? This is maybe a cheaper. If you can do this deal, it's cheaper and it saves you from having to move Godwin. Can you send your 24th third round pick for Russell Gage? Are people in your league undervaluing Russell Gage? Can you send your 24th third for Robert Woods? Maybe get some more depth there. Can you send it for Adam Thielen? We just need to make some moves. At minimum, I need to add 2 players. I need to add 1 wide receiver and 1 running back to this team. Even then, I don't feel comfortable, but it's a 14-team league, and I think from there I can potentially compete with purely the strength of the quarterbacks, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's definitely options. I mean, you can even go further more if you want. I mean, I wonder if someone like an OBJ is available. Even then, like,
he's not even going to play this year.
Yeah,
though.
we don't even know OBJ or Julio. I'm thinking somebody like that can really, really help your team if or when they do get signed.
Julio's such a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it's definitely a shot in the dark.
So
what
here's
about
what
AJ
sucks.
Green?
Here's what sucks, and I think it's the dilemma that you're currently facing as well, Badake. We don't want to move draft capital.
No,
you know
don't.
what I mean? We don't want to do that. But we've put ourselves in such a rough position. I know that we don't want to move the capital
because we can definitely give you so many options, saying take your 24 first. But then you're gonna have old players and not have any draft capital at all, and you're gonna put yourself in a tough position for sure.
So it's tough. Man. Something else I would say is I would probably move Tyler Beatty out of my taxi. And I think I would put Keontae in my taxi because I feel like Beatty has a better chance to contribute this year with the uncertainties around JK.
I'm just thinking of other names here. A Jarvis, Sure. What about a Jarvis Landry?
That should be cheap, like a third or a fourth. I think.
What about a Corey Davis? It's not
He's
beautiful.
Be so buried in the depth chart.
Devonta Parker,
Devontae Parker's a good shout.
You can
send a third round pick for Devontae.
Yeah, it's just so.
Or maybe you can even do it for a fourth.
The thing is, like in a 14-man league, I think these guys are a little bit more valued.
Sure. That's true.
Are a little bit more valued, especially what if you take a shot in the dark with like a Devin Duvernay? What if you can? Hey, can you just throw in that guy? I'll give you a third or a fourth. You have Devin Duvernay because there's an opportunity. Hard. He's a wide receiver too. That's once again, it's super tough and super hard.
It's the worst case scenario for this team?
I'm listening.
The worst case scenario is that Lamar Jackson holds out. Chris Godwin isn't ready until week 7. Debo Samuel holds out. Tyler Lockett gets traded. Actually, if Tyler Lockett, he doesn't get traded. He stays where he is.
I mean, both of them. I mean, Lamar, Kyler, Debo can all hold out essentially because they aren't signed.
This is tough. This is
tough. Their contract.
I would say the most likely scenario is that none of those things happen that I just said, except for maybe Godwin coming back late. But anyway, Greg, I really wanted to help, and I hope this has been helpful. We want to be honest as well. I feel like we've put ourselves in a really tough spot here.
Yeah, and for sure, there's going to be so many people commenting down below offering you some help as well. So definitely check that out. I mean, we've done our best. What if it's a Ronald Jones,
Yeah, Ronald Jones could be cheap.
Mark Ingram, Kareem Hunt. I'm just throwing random names out there to give you the thought process of, hey, maybe I can get this guy. What if it's a JD McKissick?
The hard thing is when you look at his bench, like who wants to trade for these players?
Exactly.
Who wants Duke Johnson or Raheem Mostert? Raheem Mostert might actually help you out potentially. Who wants Anthony McFarland or Jalen Guyton or Gerald Everett? The good thing is Trey McBride's young and he could be an incredible asset in your tight end premium format.
Exactly.
But again, we even our tight end, we have Dawson Knox. He's not bad, but he's not going to get 90 receptions ever in a year. He's more of a touchdown threat. So
right.
Anyway,
gotta wait and see.
I hope this helps.
Hopefully, man.
I don't know if it did. Let me know in the comments if it does. But anyway, best of luck, Greg. Hope this helps.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.